I've got an uncle down in Melbourne who's a construction worker. He, much like me, left school pretty early on and jumped straight into his craft. I've recently been talking with him about careers as such, different jobs, because as part of my own development, I have been wondering whether hospitality is something I want to do. So I was listing off some trades to him, and he asked me this big question. He asked, "Does that excite you? Would that get you out of bed in the morning?" Because he said that with his work, it does. He wakes up and his feet hit the floor and he leaves with enthusiasm because he loves what he does. That really resonated with me. The past year or so in hospitality, I decided to branch out my skills a little bit. So I picked up work in a kitchen as well as working in a nightclub. And it made me miss the hell out of cafes. Talking with people, being able to be friendly and polite, having people who are conscious instead of completely unconscious. Like, I tell you, drunk people are way harder to deal with than over-caffeinated people. And thus, I made the move to get back into cafe work. It slingshotted me into this little page that I've started. All the coffee stuff that I've been divulging over the 10 years that I've been learning it. And I tell you what, it's been great. I initially had some nerve recording videos and getting out there and telling people about my craft, but now I'm really excited about it. If anything, I'm more focused on the content I'm producing, wanting to be able to give the proper, correct information as opposed to just winging it. And it's made me aware of a fair bit of the stuff that I need to learn. So the way us humans learn is we go through phases. We start off being unconsciously incongruent. That means that we have no idea about the stuff that we don't know. Just basically bubbling around. Then, after we get a little bit more of a grip of it, we become consciously incongruent. We're aware of the things that we don't know. And then we start to learn those things. Then we get to a point where we're consciously congruent. We are aware of what we know, but we have to be focused on it. And then there's this point of mastery where you're unconsciously aware, unconsciously congruent. You've learnt it enough to the point where you can forget it and do it whenever you need. That's a magical point to be at. It's a point of zen where, like with me and my job, I don't have to worry about the little finite details. I can just tell if that's going to be a good coffee. I can tell if the milk's right. If it's not, I'll feel a little bit off. I'll know that there's a little bit too much froth, or it could be a little bit too hot, or that extraction's not going to taste right. But when I'm on the ball and when it's all set up and all good, I tell you, it's like a roll. And I go with it. There's this quote, probably going to misquote it here, but a person's mission is to be that engrossed in their work that they realize it's play. That's exactly the point I get to in hospitality. It doesn't feel like work because I enjoy it that much that I'm just getting paid to do it. In actual fact, in all honesty, if I wasn't getting paid, and of course I still had all the little necessities of life covered, I'd probably still want to do it. Because it's really, really fun. Like, I talk to people all day, which, as you can tell, I like to do. I'm serving them and providing them the stuff they need, which is food and drink. And I'm also doing a very scientific, methodical thing, which is the process of making coffee. And behind all of that, I'm actually servicing the world because I'm helping third world farmers, in some cases, eat. By extracting the beans properly to the point where the coffee is exquisite, the customers keep on coming back. Might be because of my service, but it's mostly because I make them what they want, which is good tasting coffee. That in turn follows back through the roastery, which we get the beans at, which goes back to the processing, which goes back to the farmer. These guys and girls who are in mostly poor countries, who are able to grow this coffee and make a living off the way our first world functions. That is a very, very powerful thing that's kept me in it for 10 years. Alas, though, even if that was the case, if I didn't enjoy the job, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have stuck with it. So, resonating with my uncle's statement, I do get out of bed in the morning. I do hit the floor with enthusiasm and get out there to provide that amazing customer service, to provide them with that sustenance to get through their day, and to see that satisfaction when they get exactly what they need. And when I'm in the zone, it's fun. It's like a video game. To quote a book here, Ryan Holiday's book, right at the end of it, he talks about the same thing. Because this very, very famous writer farms his own cattle. So in his off time, he goes out there and he does tasks like rewiring fences, herding cattle, and all of this little farm stuff that we take for granted. And he has this little quote that says, "Mind is empty, heart is full, body is busy." That's exactly the kind of thing that we should be aiming for. Whether it's making coffee, whether it's talking to people like it is for me, or whether it's something completely different, that doesn't matter. If you enjoy the thing that you're doing and the work feels like play, follow it, run with it. Do what I've done. Just record some videos just for the sake of it, just for the fun of it. Don't go thinking about that dollar. At the end of the day, you're not going to be buried with your dollars. You're going to get buried with your memories. And honestly, for the people around you and your family and your friends, the quality of your own person is way better than how much money you have in your pocket. It's not worth sacrificing your own happiness just to make coin. Like, nobody wants that. That's hollow, empty stuff that you think you want, that you say society is telling you to want, but deep down in your own divot of your heart, it isn't. Sure, money represents freedom, and it means that we can do stuff with it. But again, if you just work for the sake of your own happiness and enjoyment, you'll be paid dividends that money can't even cover. That even if you spent every single dollar in the world on, you would not get back. This is why some of the happiest people in the world are the people who know themselves. Are the people who do the work that they love doing. To get that satisfaction back. And the people who know what they love. So do that. Own that. Be you. Be that magnificent you. And find that moment of zen that is in our modern day time. Thanks for tuning in, sticking with me. If you've been keeping up to date with my videos, that's absolutely freaking awesome. If this is the first video that you tuned into and you like this stuff, please like and subscribe. Scroll through my videos, see if there's anything else you like. Comment, let me know you've watched it. Let me know what's resonated and what. Even if you don't like it. Comment, let me know where I'm wrong. Be a troll, I don't care. I'm doing this because I love it. You should do what you do because you love it too. Tomorrow, I'm going to post up a video that's going to be a big wrap-up. It's going to be a summary of what the last 29, then it'll be 30 days have been. What I've been working on, what I've talked about, that kind of stuff. And I'm also going to be talking about the stuff that's to come. So again, thank you. This has been Josh Robertson from Barista Barrage. Just talking about the thing I love the most, which is coffee.